Glenn, what makes you the best person to be the next USI President?
I believe and absolutely love the power and potential that the student movement has to affect change on behalf of students and young people across this island, both north and south of the border. And I suppose first and foremost, I know exactly what we can do with that power and potential. I think we use the term student movement quite lightly in the sense that it's a bit of a throwaway term, a bit of a buzzword. But what does that actually mean? And I think we actually are all powerful individuals. We use that power all the time to buy things, to boycott, to support a cause, to support enterprise. But I suppose the question I would put to all you guys is what about the power of our voice? And what if things were different? And I think, we have strong class rep councils across the country that can really act as the pillar of a strong student movement, but we absolutely have to get the basics right first. I don't really feel that we can, as a leadership, get too far ahead of the student movement. Otherwise, we're not really going to be affecting any change there. So ultimately, as President of USI next year, I want to make sure that our fundamental building blocks are right. I'm the best person to make sure that USI can actually help students' unions to make sure we have a class rep in every class before the budget. If we can't do that, folks, we may as well go home. But ultimately, I genuinely feel that my passion, my experience, and when I say experience, it's not just a buzzword either, it's about the right experience, that really makes me the standout candidate and your comprehensive candidate for President. I started, like many of you who'll be watching this today, as a class rep in 2008, and I went on to elect class reps on the ground after that, was their point of contact. I was also Vice President with the Education and Welfare Brief in the Students' Union in DOT before being President there of a large students' union with a turnover of over €1 million a year, multi-campus, so I was fairly nomadic there. So I do understand it's a serious role. I was the Director of the Students' Union Board there as well, so I have good governance and corporate experience as well that would allow me, I suppose, to ensure prudent financial oversight of the organisation in what's a very, very tight time as well, to make sure that we actually are getting the most out of what we actually have. And I think as well, on the side of that as well, of getting the most of what we have on a resource perspective, it's about getting the most out of what we have in terms of human capital. And I think we need to generate that a lot more. I don't believe students are apathetic in any way, shape or form. They're waiting to be engaged. And I think, examples of, how the Yes campaign in Scotland started and how, recent activity sort of here on our shores have shown that young people aren't apathetic. And it's actually about making sure our messaging is right, making sure we have structures behind that actually get this movement working. So USI next year needs to actually function properly from day one, and if you elect me as President, that's what I'll make sure happens.